videos all in one. Woohoo!
Yeah, 4 different topics.
I'm trying to focus on my finger spelling. Just so you know.
I don't know what I'm going to say. Mine was finger spelling. And clarity, that's what mine was. Clarity, Steve.
And not being loosey-goosey.
Yeah, that's the clarity. Yeah.
Why is this not working?
Yeah.
Work for me. Work for me. It's loading.
That's good.
It's got the circle going. Gotta love tech problems. Causes of the American Revolution. Reasons for
American.
But,
yeah, war. I was doing revolution.
Hold on.
American Revolution.
For Chapter 5, study review video. So we're just going to go straight down to Chapter 5 study guide. And for those of you kind of paying attention, I'll kind of give the number of the question as we go, and I'm just going to kind of talk about some of the underlying causes of the American Revolution. We know that they can all be summed up with basically the mantra or the saying, no taxation without representation. However, there's a lot more details to it than that. So I'm just going to go through your study guide. We're going to bounce around through that, go over some of the answers, and try and get you prepared for our assessment. The first question is in 1760, how would you describe the colony? How did the colonists view themselves? And were they happy with British government? What was that all about? So in 1760, right, all the 13 colonies, all was well during this time period. They viewed themselves as British citizens. They had their own, each individual colony had their own colonial assembly. They were able to make laws for the individual colony, pass their own taxes, punish people for their own crimes, and all was well. Over the course of the next 15 years, however, things are going to go from peach keen jelly bean to just absolutely awful. And we're going to kind of see how that takes that down on the slide. So that was number one there. Number two, talks about the French and Indian War, which remember was a war between Great Britain and the French and their Native American allies. The French and Indian War, part of the 7 Years' War. Talked about it in class, watched the other puppet show video about that. The British were victorious. They won. And after the French and Indian War, they signed a treaty with France called the Treaty of Paris, and they forced France to leave most of North America. So all of this land here, this was disputed, and it used to be the French and the British were fighting over it. Britain win, so since they win, they get all the land. So who was the big winner? Who gained a lot of land by winning the French and Indian War? Well, the British do. They kick out the French, and they start having a few conflicts with the Native Americans that we're going to see more about as the course goes on. Speaking of those conflicts, here we are, right? Colonists in 1763 started wanting to move west of the Appalachian Mountains, right? They were getting ready to expand. They said, we've got all this new land. I can go get a bunch of land for cheap, start my family, start my life out there. But of course, the Native Americans were looking. They've lived out there for generations, and they don't really like the British people moving into their land, which is understandable. And this naturally leads to conflict, to fighting. The British just get done fighting a war with the French, and they're like, we're not about to start fighting a war with the Native Americans. So the British King Parliament, they passed the Proclamation of 1763, which is basically this imaginary line that just runs down the Appalachian Mountains saying, all the colonists must stay east of it. They must stay on this side of the Appalachian. They cannot settle west of the Appalachian Mountains. Who does this benefit? Well, that benefits Native Americans. And that's the question for number 3, who benefited from the proclamation? The Native Americans benefited. The colonists did not like it, and for the most part, they just ignored it. They're like, you can't make me. And this upset the British government. This was kind of like, whoa, hey, you know your role, all right? Don't just do what you think you can do, right? So it upset the British government. It's kind of the seeds of our conflict. Number 4, what was one big effect? Right, the biggest effect from the French and Indian War on Great Britain was in debt. Huge debt. War is expensive. War today is expensive. War has always been and will always be expensive. So after this war is done, Great Britain owes a lot of money to people. And because they owe a lot of money, they think, well, who should we make pay for this war? The colonists, right? I mean, we fought the war in their backyard. We fought it for them. We fought it to get land. We're going to make them pay. And this is what really ticks off the colonists, right? This is kind of what sets everything in motion. The cost of war. So they start with the Stamp Act, that very first tax on paper products, official documents, and things like that. The Stamp Act upsets the colonists. They call it tyranny. they complain, they say no taxation without representation. Remember, the colonists paid less taxes. People living here paid less taxes than their neighbors in Great Britain. It wasn't that they were asked to pay taxes. It wasn't the price of the taxes that they were asked to pay. It was the fact that they did not have a representative in Parliament who could help them, who could vote on these taxes. They had no say. So that's number 4. Number 5, who are the Sons of Liberty? A group of patriots, so a group very opposed to the British king. We would call them radicals today, right? I mean, these were the people leading the protests, leading the attacks, leading the tarring and feathering. So these were patriots opposed to the British government. Number 6, Boston Massacre. We watched a clip of that in class. It was not a true massacre. We all discovered and we all agreed. But yet, the patriots referred to it as a massacre. Why? Well, to drum up, to build up anti-British feelings, right? If you hear massacre committed by the British troops, you automatically assume the British troops are evil, and you'll have these hard feelings towards them. So they used it as propaganda, as a way to kind of promote anti-British feelings. The Sons of Liberty did this to kind of promote their feelings against the British. Number 7, Townshend Acts. Why did Parliament pass them? What were they? What happened after they passed? It was passed by a man named Townshend, led the charge in Parliament, again, to pay off these war debts. And they put taxes on things, imported goods, things brought into the country from Britain, so things shifted. Things like tea, lead, paint, glass, luxury goods. How do they call this react? Well, again, they're upset. No taxation without representation. But instead of violently protesting, they boycott these items. They stop purchasing these items. And this is where the ladies, the colonial women, really stepped up. Girl power, right? They really stepped up and said, all right, we got this. We'll help this boycott. And the boycott was effective. Boycotts are difficult, but they're effective. You don't like school lunch? Boycott your school lunch, but it can't just be you. It has to be like school-wide and for a long period of time, and things will change. That's what happened then. They repealed most of the Townshend Acts, except, of course, that pesky little tax on tea. Number 8, think about the Stamp Act for a moment. What really ticked off the colonists about it being passed? Again, number 8, they were not so much upset that the Stamp Act was a tax on the stamp on the paper. They were upset that they did not have a representative in Parliament. No taxation without representation. Stay with me now. No taxation without representation. Let's do it again. No taxation without representation. One more time, don't speak. No taxation without representation. Right? That is the core of the colonist argument. Number 9. How did Great Britain punish the colonists for the Boston Tea Party, right? There was still this tax on tea. Funny thing about the Tea Party. The tea that was sold in Boston and Charleston and Philadelphia throughout the colonies, the cost of the tea was less than tea from anywhere else. It was less than the Dutch tea. Right? They paid less for it. They were getting it for cheaper. The British government thought, this is great. We're giving it to them for cheaper, and we're collecting tax money. For whatever reason, the colonists, it wasn't the price of the tea, though. It wasn't the cheapness of the tea. It was the principle of it. They were being taxed without representation. So they got bent out of shape. The Sons of Liberty, they dress up like Mohawk Indians. They board some ships in Boston Harbor. They dump all the tea overboard. They trash it. They send a message saying, we are not paying for this tea. This is not our tea. We don't want to be taxed. They destroy British property. Woo-hoo! Big mistake. The British government comes down hard on them for this. They pass the coercive or intolerable acts to punish Boston and the citizens of Boston. And so number 9, how did they punish them? They punished them with intolerable acts. They shut down Boston Harbor. Nothing in, nothing out. They make them pay for all the tea. They shut down the colonial assemblies and put them under British control. Say, all right, no more making laws for you guys. We're on the show. British soldiers, if they're accused of murder in the colonies, say like the Boston Massacre, they get sent back home to England for their trial. Not having a trial in the colonies, and they send more troops. I mean, they come down hard on the citizens of Boston and the surrounding colonies. We start to see the colonies uniting after this. People from throughout the colonies in Philadelphia and other places, they started sending goods to Boston, shipments to Boston. They kind of got their back. They're not ready to rebel or anything yet, but we started to see some of the people going, whoa, you might have been overreacting to the Tea Party. We got your back. Number 10, simple question. How does Great Britain try to control the colonies? Through taxes, no taxation without representation. Number 11, First Continental Congress. A group of delegates from 12 of the 13 colonies, not Georgia, but few representatives from each colony. They meet in Philadelphia, and they try and find a peaceful solution. The Intolerable Acts have been passed. Things are getting out of hand. They say, maybe we can still work this out with Great Britain. Maybe we can still work this out and get representation. So Continental Congress, just representatives from each colony meeting to figure out what to do. That's 12. And then 11 rather than 12. What was their goal? To find peace. Number 13, 1774. How did the colonists view themselves? 14 years later, after 1760, after Salzburg, they still view themselves as members of an individual colony. So if you're from North Carolina, you say, I'm a North Carolinian. If you're from Georgia, I'm a Georgian. If I'm from Pennsylvania, I'm a Pennsylvanian. They don't view themselves, all of them, as American. They view themselves as a member of an individual colony. Today, if you ask somebody, if you travel to a different country, people say, where are you from? You'll say, most likely you'll say, I'm from America, I'm from the United States. You won't say, I'm from Minnesota, or I'm from St. Michael. You'll probably identify by your country first, and then maybe your state. At the time, they were identified by colony first. That will change in a couple of years, however. 14, how did they protested the Stamp Act, so what did the British do? They repealed it, easy peasy. Number 15, the Loyalists, the people loyal to the King, Great Britain Parliament, did not like the Patriots. What did they think of them? They thought of them as ungrateful, whiny rebels. They thought, our taxes are low, the British government is protecting us, you guys are whiny, get over it, knock it off. Pay the taxes, shut your mouths, go on with your lives. They thought that they were these rebels causing trouble. They did not see all the problems that the colonists had. All right, number 15. That was 15. Number 16, define tyranny. Well, that's just an unfair or unjust use of power. So if a king or a political leader does something unfairly, if they abuse their power. The colonists, number 17, thought that the Proclamation of 1763 was an example of tyranny. They thought that's not fair. They thought that the Stamp Act was an example of tyranny. They thought that the Tea Act was an example of tyranny. They thought that the whole concept of no taxation without representation was an unjust use of power, an unfair use of power, and tyranny. And then number 18, after fighting at Lexington and Concord, right outside of Massachusetts here, fighting between the colonial patriot militias, the Minutemen, and the British Army, they actually fight. They fight two battles, the very first two battles of the American Revolution. Once that happens, it is on like Donkey Kong, all right? Like, there is no going back. It is clear that the colonists are willing to fight, they're willing to die, they're willing to give their lives for their freedom. And that's kind of where we stop, right at the beginning of the American Revolution. We've seen all those houses led up to there. But once the fighting breaks out at Lexington and Concord, there's no turning back. There will be no, oops, I'm sorry. There will be no, okay, we'll behave, or we'll give you what you want. No, it's done. We're fighting the war. And a few years later, well, more than a few, but after that, we will have America. But that's for another time. Good luck on your exam. Hope I helped cover and kind of clear up some of these things. You will be fantastic. See you later.
God, that was loud.
I was like really scared by that. Oh my god, I can't breathe. I didn't warm up properly.
Yeah, I didn't warm up at all. What are y'all working on?
I'm looking over interviews.
When do you have them? Do you have any new people for band?
Maybe.
I don't know that name. I'm ready whenever you are.
Yeah, it's loading, so.
Okay. Wait, what is
Next
this?
up,
American
7th floor, Chapter 7, American Revolution Review Video. All right, welcome to our Chapter 7 American Revolution review video. I'm going to kind of take us through the study guide here as we kind of recap some of the finer points of our glorious American Revolution. Question number 1 open, just asking you what were some of the weaknesses and some of the strengths of the Continental or the American Army at the start of the American Revolution. I asked you to list a couple, 2 or 3 for each. Weaknesses. Weaknesses were plenty for the American Army. For one, they were untrained, right? They were undisciplined. They were farmers. They were merchants. They were shopkeepers. They were not trained military soldiers. They had no formal training. A second weakness is that they were ill-equipped, right? They were very poorly equipped. They didn't have proper uniforms for a large portion of the war. They didn't always have proper ammunition. They didn't have enough ammunition. They didn't have gunpowder. They didn't have supplies. They didn't have food. A number of times they didn't even have shoes on their feet that they could use, right? The American Army was very poorly equipped. They were small in number. The size of the Continental Army, remember we read, the size of the American Army was much smaller than the British Army. And so, smaller in size, smaller in skill, and smaller in resources. However, they did have a couple of kind of key advantages, or a couple of key strengths that really helped them. One of that was their military leadership. We've talked a lot about George Washington. He is one of many great American military commanders. But another one of the strengths of the American Army, of course, was their heart, their passion. They simply wanted it more. They were fighting for something. Remember when we played Capture the Flag in class, the blue team? They were fighting for something. If they won, they received a prize. The red team, the British team, they weren't fighting for anything. They received no prize for winning. So that American team, they were fighting. Their lives depend on it. If they lose, they will be tried for treason. The war is literally being fought in their backyards. They cared. They were fighting for freedom, for independence, for the Declaration of Independence. They had passion on their side. So passion and leadership, we're going to see how that was able to overcome their weaknesses. Second question, not some of the strengths and weaknesses, then, of course, of the British Army. The strengths of the British Army, well, quite simply, what? Straight away, they were better trained. They were professional soldiers. They did this for a living. Secondly, they were better equipped. They had the money to fund their army. They had nice uniforms. They had proper weapons. They had proper supplies. They had food to eat. They had shoes on their feet. So the British Army was just better supplied, better trained, and then also they were larger. They were massive. Remember, Great Britain at the time, most powerful nation in the world, and so their army is also rather large, very substantial. So they've got this strong, well-fed, well-trained army raining down on the American colonies. However, the British Army, we know they did have a couple of weaknesses. One of those weaknesses was their leadership. Although they were trained well and they were strong as an army on the whole, their leadership was very poor. And another one of their weaknesses, they had no heart. They weren't fighting for anything. They were thousands of miles from home, fighting a war that maybe they did or didn't necessarily believe in. But even if they won the war, what did they win? What did these soldiers win? Nothing. They'd get paid, they'd go home, and that was that. So by the end, they started to lose sight in their cause. They started to lose faith, lose belief in their cause, and their will to kill gradually diminished. Our third question that you're asked to the war for independence inspired hope in many African Americans. Why? Well, simply put, the Declaration of Independence. We believe that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. African American slaves, they looked around and said, I think that might include us too. Let's fight this war for independence, and maybe we'll become free. What question? After the American Revolution, we know that slavery did not end throughout all the colonies, or throughout all the United States. And a large number of African Americans were still enslaved. However, many colonies began to take steps to end slavery, particularly in New England. They took these steps to end slavery, to abolish slavery, and end it forever. So it did have some positive impact for African Americans. Good question on there. What weakness of the Continental Army led to a number of their defeats? They had the passion. The American Army had the passion. They had the leadership. But their lack of experience was what really led to a number of defeats early on in the war. They simply didn't know how to fight. And this lack of experience really hurt them early on in the war. Number 6, asking who wrote the crisis? Well, T-Pain, Thomas Paine, of course, wrote the crisis. You remember in class we compared that to Herb Brooks and the Miracle Speech. We watched the Miracle Speech and talked about how that inspired the Americans to fight the Soviets. Well, when George Washington, acting as Herb Brooks, reads the crisis to the American Army before the battles at Trenton and at Princeton, Washington reads the crisis to us, and these are the times of triumph and souls. He inspires them, he amps them up, and leads them on the successful attack on Christmas, the day after Christmas, and kind of rallies the troops early on in 1776 and 1777, when it's looking like that revolution is just going to die, and it's just going to fizzle out. So number 7 then, after 1776, Washington revises his military strategy. Remember, a strategy is an overall plan to do something like winning a war. So Washington, after 76, he revises his strategy and he adopts a more defensive strategy. That's right, he goes, wait a second, I don't have to get a lot of big victories. I don't have to conquer the British. I simply have to survive. I simply have to avoid a crushing defeat. Our 8th question, we talked about 2 effects. American victory in Saratoga. Right, Saratoga, right up here in upstate New York. We're going to talk about it. The British strategy, remember, early on in the war, is to capture New England. If we talk about the colonies as a snake, right, just like the join or die poster, and the head on that join or die poster, of course, represents New England. And so if we talk about New England As the head of the revolutionary state, the British job was to simply cut off the head of that snake. You cut off the head of the snake, you kill the snake. It might wriggle around for a little bit, but it will die. And so they thought, if we can cut off where the revolution began, the heart of the revolution, if we can cut off the head of it, the revolution will wriggle up and die. Great strategy. Perfectly sound strategy, except for when your strategy doesn't work. And in this case, at the Battle of Saratoga, the British strategy did not work. Burgoyne was defeated by Gates, and the Americans are victorious, preventing the British from taking control of the Hudson River and cutting off the head of the revolution. Following this, there's some people in Europe, the French, they went, c'est British, they left in Saratoga, they pushed up to the king, oui, oui, right? Following the Battle of Saratoga, the French, oui, oui, and the Spanish, si, the French, the Spanish, they decided, I think now we can become official, formal allies of the Americans. And they joined the fight, especially the French. They joined the fight on behalf of the Americans. No longer are they making these cheerleaders and giving them support and money and supplies. They're actually going to send troops to get actively involved. Huge deal. That also talks about number 9, what is an ally? Well, that's just a friend. Another country that helps you in a war. And then who was our biggest ally during the war? Friends. Number 10, as war progressed, many people in Britain began to oppose the war. And a large part of that, money. It's expensive. Fighting the war way overseas, now there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles in between here, thousands of miles in here that are separating these two nations that are at war, Europe, England, and the Americans. And it's expensive to fight this war. It's a long war. It costs a lot of money, and it costs a lot of lives. So this cost of money and lives, people back home in Great Britain are going, yo, King, Parliament, I think maybe it's time we end this deal. And so people in Britain by the end of the war, they were no longer supporting the war. The support was dropping. You see that frequently in our American history. When the United States has been involved in long conflicts. We've seen it today in 2010, where we're involved in conflict war in Afghanistan and Iraq. And as these wars, these conflicts continue to drag on, they cost more money, they cost more lives, and public opinion of the war begins to drop and say, hey, maybe this isn't the fight worth fighting anymore. So we see a lot of similarities between the American Revolution and war today. Shreds and Princeton, number 11. Why were these victories important to the American Army? Well, simply, it proved that the British could be beaten. They hadn't had any real, clear, decisive victories over the British until Trenton and Princeton. And following these two victories, the Americans went, all right, the British can be beaten. We can beat them. Number 12, when General Burgoyne, a British general, took American forces at Albany, New York, took on the forces at Albany, New York, right here, he had a very clear disadvantage. What was that disadvantage? They didn't know the land, right? And this was a huge disadvantage for the British Army in general, especially in the South. They didn't know the land. They didn't know the lay of the land. And so it's like playing hide and go seek. It's like when you invite some buddies over, your cousins over, and hey, let's play hide and go seek game. You know all good hide and go seek places, and they know none of them? Of course you win. Similar to the American Revolution. The Americans, they were born and raised on this soil. For generations they lived here. These British soldiers, they had never been here before, some of them. They had never been down in the South before, some of them. They didn't know the land. They didn't know how to react to it. So a huge disadvantage, not knowing the land. Number 13, as the tide of the war turns, right? As the tide of the war turns, we see that a lot of fighting pushes further to the south. Well, that makes sense for the British. Their strategy was not effective in the north. They head south. They're more loyalists in the south. However, guerrilla fighting, hit and run fighting. We're talking about number 13 now. And we don't mean guerrilla like, fast British. No, we don't mean that type of guerrilla. What we mean those hit and run, kind of like, gotcha, kind of that hit and run, attack and retreat. Type of technique, right? If I'm going to go take on a world heavyweight champion boxer, if I'm going to go fight Brock Lesnar, I'm not going to stand toe-to-toe with him because the fight will last for about as long as it takes for his fist to meet my face, and it will be over. So I'll use hit and run tactics. The Americans in the South, we talked about the swamp bots and these guerrilla fighters. They would attack and then they would retreat back into the swamps and the trees. Very effective fighting down in the South, and the British hated it. But, well, I say, that's not very gentlemanly of you. Right? So the British, sorry about the accent, that was rubbish. But the British did not like this fighting style. It wore them down. They got sick and tired of being attacked, and their enemies were running away. They thought, come up and face us. We want to fight you. The Americans were like, we face you straight up. You will cream us, so we're going to attack and run, attack and run, attack and run. And it wears them down. It wears them down a lot. And we know that, of course, eventually Clemson Yorktown. And so if you were to describe the overall flow of the wars at the beginning, moving on to number 14 now, at the beginning the Americans were outmatched, they were outgunned, they were getting beat, but as the war progressed, they changed their strategy. They didn't stick to their initial plan. They changed their strategy, they changed their plan of attack, and they improved. And they got better, and they continued to fight, and they continued to wear down the British. And so changing that strategy over time, they get better, they improve, and they're eventually able to defeat the British, of course, Yorktown being the last major battle. Number 15, we talked about how hugely important the American Revolution was. Not obviously just for our nation, but worldwide, it had a worldwide impact. One event that we looked at a little bit was the French Revolution. Remember we watched that Bad Romance cover, La, La, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité. Yeah, Lady Gaga, look out, I'm coming for you, right? But the French Revolution, inspired by the American Revolution. In the 1800s, there were a bunch of British colonies still down here in South America. They're going to look at the American Revolution like, wait a second, we shouldn't be governed by the British either. So it kind of sets up a series of revolutions around the world based on watching the American Revolution, right? So we kind of led the way. We were kind of the model for this. Even our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence kind of served as a model for all these other countries. Number 16, in addition to independence, what was something else, all right, the Americans got after the war? Treaty of Paris, 1783, signed, of course, in Paris in 1783. It says, yes, we recognize America as a free, independent nation, but, we're also going to give them all of this land here east of the Mississippi River. So, although Britain had defeated France during the French and Indian War and took this land, now the Americans had defeated the British, and 20 years later, they get kicked out of North America. We're going to see later there were still some Brits roaming around about Canada, and that's going to cause some issues. But for the most part, the Americans got all the way east of the Mississippi River. And then number 17, just the Battle of Yorktown. Again, remember that, wrapping up, that guerrilla-style fighting in the South eventually caused Cornwallis to retreat out onto this little peninsula here in York. Whoops, big mistake by Cornwallis, right? Because the French Navy comes in here and surrounds them on the seaside, and then the French troops come down from here, American troops come in here as well, basically surround Cornwallis, the British on all sides, wore them down over a period of about 2 weeks until Cornwallis and his army of 8,000 men had to surrender, and this signaled the beginning of the end. From there, it wasn't going to be much longer until the war was officially ended. Peace treaty wasn't signed until 1783, but that pretty much signaled it. All right, so there it is. There is our American Revolution study guide, about 10 to 15 minutes or so. I hope that helps to make sense. I hope you're ready to rock this test that you're going to take. I know you're going to do fantastic. It's been great studying with you. Keep it real. Deuces.
Are you doing another one? Oh, I'm so tired.
You're at 28 minutes.
This is so much.
Okay, hold on.
How am I going to do this for a living?
I can't breathe. Plus 17. Okay, yeah, we're going to need to do at least one more. Declaration of Independence to the Constitutional Convention.
Can we do another subject?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm so sore. My back hurts.
Yeah. Oh my god, what do you want to do? Science? Math?
Can we do like reading?
Yeah. What would be reading?
Is there not a reading section?
English? Stories?
Yeah, that. Wait, how many more minutes do you need? 15? Another 15 minutes?
Well, currently we're at 20. My thing
Plus
floating.
15.
Yes.
So we're at 45. Okay, so like 15 minutes, yeah. Okay. That works.
It's not
Oh, I
working.
feel like I'm going to throw up. And gummies. I eat gummies like nobody's business.
No, I noticed when Tori ever gets them, you're like,
I went and bought
here,
some.
I'm going to like pause this because I feel like we're not even doing anything right now.
Is it not loading?
No, it's not loading at all right now.
I can't pause mine. Mine just shuts off. There's no pause.
Well, mine does too, but
Oh.
I just did. I mean, like, I'm at 29 minutes, so. I'm sorry,
It
Steve,
should
it's not
load
loading. Oh, wait, now it's loading.
Okay.
No, it's not. Can't read this site. Cool.
Okay, well, we can do another one.
Why? I mean, like, it's.
The site's completely down. Hold on.
stories. I also am an incessant clicker, so maybe
got a 7:45.
no internet connection.
I have an 8-minute one here. Morris the Midget Moose. Oh, we could do Ferdinand the Bull. Okay. It's only 8 minutes. Ferdinand the Bull. And then we can do Morris the Midget Moose. And that's 16 minutes.
Oh god. Those are gonna be great. Okay. Morris the Midget Moose.
Oh, it's cow. My knees hurt so bad. It's like a TV show. Like, it has like... Oh, here we go.
Once upon a time, in sunny Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and rub their heads together, but not Ferdinand. He had his favorite spot out in the pasture, under a cork tree, and he would sit just quietly in the shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself.
Now, Ferdinand, why don't you play with all the other little bulls and wash your hair?
But Ferdinand would shake his head.
I like it better here, because it's just fun and smell the flowers.
And because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew and grew until he was very big and very strong. All the other bulls wanted, most of all, to fight the bulls like him and Red. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork and smell the flowers. One day, five men gave him 20 hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfight. All the other bulls ran around leaping, clubbing, and butting their heads, so the men would think they were strong and fierce, and pick them. But not Ferdinand. He knew they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out under his favorite cork tree to sit down. But he didn't look right at the city, and he sat on a bumblebee. Ferdinand ran around puffing and sparking and refraining. The lions then joy, and they all shouted with joy. sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers, just like her. He is very happy.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, that actually was really fun. I love children's books.
Me
though.
too. Okay, one more children's book. Stories. Okay.
Okay, hold on, let me translate.
There's an alligator under my bed. I've got 2 8-minute ones. Well, one's 7:45 and one's 8 minutes.
I only need like 5 more minutes. I think you only need like 8.
Do you want to just do the 7:45 one? Is that okay? Or actually, let's do Morris the Midget Moose because it looks easier.
Spell it for me.
R-I-S. That's funny. Of course it is.
What?
One of the guys in our group is a turf grass major. And he loves grass. Okay, I think it's about to start.
Hold on, Mr. Boy. No whistle about it. Come on up and rest your feet. You know, just because us guru people do that fine, don't mean we have to start. Listen close, boy, and I'll tell you a story about another little fella. Heard, he had his troubles too. Huh? Oh, I understand. Yep. The story of Morris the Midget Moose. Now, Morris was 4 years old and should have been full grown. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't grow an inch. Morris loved to romp and play with the big moose. But it was just no use. He was too little. But that wasn't the worst of his trouble. Mealtime presented quite a problem too. Poor little Morris. The poor little fellow was the laughing stock of the moose tribe. But then came the big day when all the moose gathered together to challenge Thunderclap, the champion, for the leadership of the tribe. Oh, this was to be a gala day. Finally, there it was, the call of the mighty champion, Thunderclap. He was ready for the challenge. Every great bull of the tribe was there to get his crack at the champion. All except poor little Morris. Suddenly, Morris realized that his antlers were as big as any of them. So he rushed right over and took his place at the end of the line to challenge Thunderclap. He even stood on his tiptoes to make himself look taller. One by one, Thunderclap defeated his challengers. And at last, it was Morris' turn. was named Balsam. Balsam said to Morris, that moose though. What he meant to say was, no matter how sad you are, I'm even sadder. And if you promise not to laugh, I'll show you why. Yeah, there was that great big moose with the tiniest little antlers you ever saw. Morris forgot his own trouble. And right there started a fast friendship. Now at last little Morris could eat all the tender leaves. He could even jump it. Why, it's only us, said Balsam. Now, no one could tell that Balsam and Morris weren't just one big, powerful moose. Not even Thunderclap. Well, boys, the moral of the story is, two hits is better than one. Might be 3 hits is better than one.
Well, that was just so exciting.
Because I was like, I don't know what's going on, so.
Yeah, you had to see